I feel very cute today. I'm really enjoying this look. I'm feeling it today. I'm feeling it. Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. This is part 3 of funny secrets behind my cosplay photos. If you didn't know, this is a little series that I've done where it's exactly what it sounds like. I just share funny secrets behind each of my cosplay photos, because when you see a cosplay photo, everything looks like it's perfect. It all looks very, ideal and nice, and what could possibly be weird about this photo? But in reality, there are many funny and embarrassing things that happen behind the scenes of each cosplay photo that we don't get to hear about. So I wanted to make a little series where I share those things because I think they're really funny, and I think that they, remind us that cosplay is not a perfect hobby. There's always going to be weird and funny things that happen behind the scenes. So anyway, this is part 3. If you guys want to see part 1 and 2, I will have them linked down in the description as well as in the end slate. And yeah, I'm excited to get into it. But before we get into it, this video is actually sponsored, which is very exciting. Our sponsor for today is Boxu. Boxu, if you didn't know, is a monthly snack box subscription service that delivers assortments of premium Japanese snacks, candies, and tea pairings to your door every month. Each month's crate follows a different theme, so you're always getting to try something new. Boxu basically gives you this premium gourmet experience around Japan every month. Each crate comes with a little culture guide that gives you really cool information about where each snack is made, information about its cultural significance within Japan, and details about its flavor profiles. So it's really more than just a snack crate. It really is like a gourmet experience. You get to learn more about Japan. You get to learn more about the snacks that you're tasting. So it's a really in-depth experience in that respect. I personally really like Boxu. I was actually a customer of theirs long before they ever sponsored me, and I really enjoyed the crate. It's definitely my favorite Japanese snack crate out of all of them, just because you get a really good variance of snacks in each crate. So you're not ever getting a bunch of just one thing. You're getting a nice variance of different snacks and different flavors to try. It's a really generous crate, so you really get a lot for what you pay for. And I really like how in-depth it is. I like that they don't just kind of give you the snacks and that's it. They really make it a full experience by teaching you the details about where the snack is sourced, what it tastes like, what its cultural significance within Japan is like. It's a really well-rounded crate, and it's just a really great experience getting to taste it. So if you are interested in trying them out, you can get 10% off your first crate and save up to $47 by using the code and link in the description. This is a great way to support my channel. And yeah, I really hope you guys check out Boxu and that you enjoy it, because I certainly have really enjoyed Boxu. A huge thank you to Boxu for sponsoring today's video. All of that said, let's get into today's funny secrets behind my cosplay photos. So the first funny secret behind my cosplay photos, we're gonna be going with Peach and Daisy. So about a year and a half ago, I cosplayed Racer Peach and Daisy with my friend Adrian. This has been a dream cosplay of mine, being Racer Daisy, because if you didn't know, Mario Kart Wii is basically my favorite game of all time. It's probably one of the games that I put the absolute most hours into, and I just love it so flippin' much, and I've always loved their racing outfits. Adrian also really loves Mario Kart, and she loves Princess Peach, so it worked out perfectly. We decided to do these cosplays together. The thing about these cosplays, they might look, nice and crisp. It probably looks like it was a really straightforward experience making the cosplays, but let me tell you the secret behind these cosplays. So how we made these cosplays was we bought basic white bodysuits off of Amazon, and we glued the stripes onto them because it really wasn't going to be possible to sew them, just because the bodysuit was already made. Getting the sewing machine in all of those areas was going to be really, really challenging, so we decided to use fabric glue instead. We used this thing called Quick Sew fabric glue, and the thing about Quick Sew, which nobody ever talks about, but like, holy crap, is that it smells exactly like period blood. And it is a really strong smell. So to do these cosplays, I had to get Adrian to put on her suit, and then I basically started from the bottom, went up to the top of putting the glue onto the bodysuit and pressing the stripes onto her. And it was a very uncomfortable experience for me because I had to smell the fumes of this period glue. It was so bad. And then when we got up to her arm and her neck, where I had to push the stripes onto, she started to have to smell it as well. And it was such a long process having to do that. And it was so unpleasant because this glue, it smelled like period blood, and it's so gross. So Whenever we think back to the construction of these cosplays, it's always like flashbacks to like,
oh my gosh, the period glue. Oh my goodness.
And the thing is that like I didn't have anybody to help me put the stripes onto mine, so I had to actually press the stripes onto my own bodysuit by myself, and again had to smell this awful glue. It was so gross. So if you ever decide to use quick sew to glue stuff to your costumes, just know that it smells exactly like period blood, and be careful because it's really friggin' gross. Maybe wear a mask, it's not good. All right, next up is Stevonnie. This is a cosplay that I did like 6 years ago maybe. It was a really long time ago. Really long time ago, back when I was into Steven Universe. The thing about this cosplay, basically this day at that convention, you can't tell in the photos, I look very happy in those photos, but that day I had some of the worst period pain of my life. I feel like this story is just talking about periods a lot, which I did not intend for, but I guess it is what it is. Basically, I had the worst period, some of the worst period pain I've ever had in my life. I had painkillers and everything. It didn't do anything. I was in horrible pain that whole day. And so I'm walking around and people are trying to like converse with me, and I couldn't focus on the conversation at all because I was in such bad pain and I was in such a bad mood because of it. It was one of the most unpleasant convention experiences that I've had. I mean, it was a nice day ultimately, but in terms of having to walk around and like operate at a convention while being in some of the worst pain ever, probably one of the worst like cosplay experiences that I've had, just having to deal with that. So you look at the photos, I look very happy, I look like I'm having a great time, but the truth is that day I really had to push through a lot of pain to try and have a good day at that convention. Next cosplay secret is my Elastigirl cosplay. So I did a classic Elastigirl cosplay, again, like 2 or 3 years ago. I can't believe time is flying so fast. Definitely one of my favorite cosplays of all time. The thing that I learned, and this will be a helpful little tip for you guys watching, hopefully this will be a teachable experience. So I made these boot covers, which just go over a pair of high heels, and they stretch up and you know, sit on your legs. As you can see, that was a really awkward way of describing them. I made these thigh-high boot covers, basically. What I learned is that you really need to reinforce where the boot cover sits over your knees, because what ended up happening was, I guess all of the wear of me walking around and moving my knees caused the stitching to come apart. And this happened like halfway through the day. So for a good chunk of the day, I was just walking around with these torn boot covers. Some of my friends said that I kind of looked like I was like punk Elastigirl because I had these tears in my boots. So for the photos that you've seen on the internet, I unfortunately had to Photoshop them so that they looked proper, but in truth, they were totally ripped. So when you're making boot covers, make sure to put extra stitching around where the knee is, otherwise it's gonna come apart. But yeah, what I like to call this is punk Elastigirl because I just had these tears in my boot covers. All right, next up is Millie. So this one's really funny. So we had a very busy day this day of the convention. We had a lot of things that we wanted to do and see. We had a bunch of different photo opportunities. And so at a certain point in the day, we were having to meet a photographer, but we were late because we kept getting pulled over for photos. So we were rushing to go and see our photographer to do a photo shoot. At that point, my bladder was at max capacity. Like I really had to pee, but I didn't want to make our photographer wait any longer. And I just hadn't had any opportunities to go to the bathroom because we had been so busy. So I went to this photo shoot on a full bladder. So you see me in these photos and I look like everything's fine and I look super chill, but I had to pee so friggin' bad. And there's this video, like you can actually see it in some of the shots because my bladder, since my bladder was so full, it was really round. Like you could see that it was full. Like I didn't learn this until in cosplay, that you can actually see when you have a full bladder. This is like super TMI, isn't it? But you can see when you have a full bladder. There's a video of me like on the red carpet and you can totally tell that like I have a full bladder in that video, which I just think is like the most ridiculous and funny thing ever. So yeah, you look at these photos and you know, everything looks fine, but what you have to know is that my bladder was at max capacity. Luckily, I was able to go to the bathroom afterwards, but like, oh my gosh, like so ridiculous. The things we do for cosplay, so flippin' ridiculous. So just a word to the wise, you know, just go to the bathroom. Honestly, like don't be like me and hold it in. Just just go to the bathroom. It's important. And then the final funny secret has to do with these Overwatch photos that I took with my friend Madeline in the summer. So this was during, like I just said, during the summer. The thing about this day was it was one of the hottest days of that summer, and we didn't know that going into it. And the thing with Overwatch cosplays, especially my Tracer, is that it is a pleather outfit. So there is no breathing. Like, that jacket does not breathe at all. My friend Madeline, she's in her Diva cosplay, so it's a full head to toe outfit. There's really very little breathability in it. My Tracer, again, is the same way. I'm wearing gloves, I'm wearing a pleather jacket, I'm wearing leggings. These were probably the worst cosplays we could have worn on that particular day. Like, when I tell you it was hot, I can't even tell you how hot it was. Like, it was pretty much like a heat wave that day. And we're in these Overwatch cosplays. Like, it was the worst thing we could have possibly done. So again, we look really cool in the photos. We look like we're having a great time, but oh my gosh, we were really fighting to not have heat stroke. And luckily neither of us did get heat stroke, but we were so close. Like, we really could have gotten heat stroke that day. Luckily we didn't. But I remember getting home and just ripping that cosplay off. My pleather jacket was just full of sweat. It was absolutely disgusting because, again, it can't breathe. So all that sweat just collects inside of it, right? And I remember just like changing into the most summer appropriate thing I could and then running down the street and getting an ice cream because that's just what I really needed at that particular point. So, oh my gosh, like, sometimes I forget. I look at those photos and I was like, that was such a great day. And then I realized, no, man, like, that was the most warm, like, uncomfortably hot shoot I've ever had, period. End of story. Oh my goodness. And there we go. Those were some more funny secrets behind my cosplay photos. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, if you want to see my other videos in this series, I will have them linked down below, as well as in the end slate. If you guys are new here and you'd like to see more cosplay related videos, I put out new videos every Sunday. It would be lovely to have you here, so feel free to subscribe to see more. Again, a huge thank you to Boxu for sponsoring today's video. If you want to get your own, you can get 10% off with my link and discount code in the description. Thank you guys all so much for hanging out with me today. I will see you guys all next time, but until then, Panda Faces, please be sure to take care. Bye!